Hello, I'm Janine with Natural Grocers, and I'm very pleased to present Dr. Valerie Ripperger. Dr. Ripperger is a doctor of naturopathic medicine that concentrates on the root cause through health promotion using natural remedies. She has been helping others with their wellness journey for over 25 years. Welcome, Valerie.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to listen to my webinar today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Valerie Ripperger, and thank you so much, Janine and Natural Grocers, for letting me talk to you guys today about what I feel holds a very special place in my heart, and it has to do with cancer, and it is the metabolic approach to cancer. So I want to be able to give you a little bit of information so that you know if this is something you want to integrate within your healing journey. I am not going to be able to cover everything by any means, and I may not even be able to spend a lot of time on every slide. So if you would like to have this PowerPoint, please email me at gethealthy@hope-wellnesscenters.com, and I'm happy to send this to you. But I just want to touch on this so that this has been a very important subject, so that people can pick and choose what information that they feel resonates with them. I just want to talk to you a little bit more about me. So again, my name is Dr. Valerie Ripperger. I'm a naturopathic doctor. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what an integrative medicine is, what a naturopathic doctor is, and the metabolic approach. So what brings me here today, I'm talking to you guys about cancer, is that cancer has really touched myself personally and loved ones, family, and I had made a promise to my grandmother, probably it's been 30 years ago, that had lung cancer, that I would try to help one person that had cancer so they wouldn't have to go through what she went through. So I have spent the last 25 years researching and finding out how I can help to support those people as they go through that journey. And what that may look like is different for each person. There can be prevention. We can do an integrative approach, which I am working with your oncologist as you're going through chemo, radiation, and surgery, or if you would like to do just a more holistic approach solely. So each journey, again, looks differently for each person. So let's go ahead and get started. For those of you that don't know, what a naturopathic doctor is that is someone that actually goes to a accredited medical school where they take basic science boards. It is the same education foundation as what a medical doctor is. The big difference is that we focus on you as a person using more natural modalities. And I tell people, I'm your private investigator for your health. We try to build a healthy terrain so that we can build a solid foundation to help you achieve that optimal health that you're looking for. Now, the naturopathic approach, we go through different healthcare systems. We use more natural modalities, but we also do 6 naturopathic principles. First, do no harm, identify and treat the cause, healing power of nature, doctor is teacher, and treat the whole person, and prevention is the best medicine. So these are so important in the naturopathic doctor's realm on how we approach each patient. I'm not going to go a lot into the history of it, but Hippocrates was basically the foundation of naturopathic medicine, not only on establishing those pillars of health, but also establishing a remedy that a lot of us are all familiar with, which is homeopathy. And it is a beautiful modality that I use in almost with every patient. Now, what is integrative medicine? Now, integrative medicine basically pairs with your traditional allopathic medicine, but also with perhaps someone like me that is a naturopath. And we work together on your treatments. For example, if you decide to have surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, then I also help to work on healing that terrain and do preventions and making sure that we're identifying toxins that could potentially be adding to your chronic condition. But I focus on you as an entire person, mind, body, spirit, mental, emotional, physical self. So those two work beautifully together to help you achieve your wellness goals. Now you're going to hear me probably use this buzzword a lot called assessing your terrain. And the terrain basically is your internal biological, what we say, your ecosystems. But it is almost as though you're building a garden. We need to assess that dirt, aka terrain, which is your body, and make sure that it has, that all of the systems are working appropriately, that there isn't any outside exposures, toxins, pollutants that are influencing your body or preventing your body from being its best self. Now with the metabolic approach is basically we use more of a naturopathic nutrition program. We utilize and assess a lot of different labs that you may have, and we can learn so much by just doing a complete blood count panel and a CMP. There's so much that we can learn. So you're going to learn a lot of this, whether it's certain things that you're putting on your body, skin care, hair care, body care, that are endocrine disruptors. Maybe how you're preparing your food, certain foods that you should and shouldn't be eating, stressors. These are all very important in your healing journey, no matter if you have cancer or not. So the terrain, there's so much to this. We're going to talk a little bit about genetics, epigenetics, nutrigenomics, your blood sugar, toxic burden on your body, healing your gut, building your immune system, and trying to make sure that we are reducing those levels of stress in your body. Now, one of the first things we'll talk about is genetics and epigenetics and nutrigenomics. And what does all of this mean? Well, basically, epigenetics tells us how these messages from your personal DNA code, they become blocked because of some metabolic change that happens in your body. And this starts to build up homocysteine in your body. And this is a type of amino acid that's a chemical that's used to break down proteins. And these basically are, they respond to your environment. It's almost as though the good kids that can go bad when they're exposed to a negative influence, and then our genes can become harmful and they can express harmful expressions depending upon what factors that they are exposed to. So nutrigenomics basically is talking about the importance of nutrition with your body. The nutrition is so important that it helps with the interaction between your diet and your genes. So far, for example, dark leafy greens can affect this gene expression through this epigenetic modification, and it helps to regulate those expressions by recruiting more proteins that are involved in those genes. And this helps, say, for example, folate, vitamin B. These all have anti-carcinogenic properties because of their relationship with your DNA. There's now an undeniable association between diet and genetic health. So your nutrition is probably one of the most important things that you can do for your body. And then if we ever work one-on-one, we will personally customize a food meal plan specifically for you to meet all of your needs. Now, with the metabolic approach with nutrition, high fat and low carbohydrates basically helps your body to stop using so much glucose. And when I'm talking about high fat, I don't mean fast food. I mean replace with healthy fats like avocados, avocado oil, chia seeds, flax seeds. And each individual is different. So please be aware of food sensitivities and allergies. And I have to say this, before you go and make any changes, please make sure that you speak with your oncologist and a naturopathic doctor, perhaps like myself, before you start making any changes, because we want to make sure you can still have food sensitivities, and we want to make sure that you're eating the right foods for you. And these, if you're eating the wrong foods, that can contribute to systemic inflammation. So you want to try to make sure that you are eliminating processed foods, and make sure that as much of the food, and especially the meats that you can eat, are organic. And especially the dirty dozen, anything that you eat, the skin, you want to make sure that it's organic and that you're cleaning it. And some other things that you may want to also consider is doing intermittent fasting. And again, each individual is different, so that you can make sure that you're doing what's best for your body. And look at all these vibrant, beautiful, whole foods that you can be putting into your body, but you want to make sure that they are free of pesticides, environmental toxins. The best way to know is to either buy local or make sure that you are growing your own foods. Whole food diet, again, I can't emphasize this enough. It's going to really help to support, to make sure that you have that healthy immune system, help to heal your gut, and give your body all of those nutrients that it needs. Have you ever heard the expression, food is thy medicine? It is so true. So those foods supply your body with all of the nutrients that it's going to need, but you also have to be careful on where it's grown. So the toxic burden on our body can be very high, and that can be because of the quality of the food that we eat, the quality of the air that we drink or that we breathe, and the water that we drink, so many of those things. So just be mindful of all of that. So the toxicity in food. You want to make sure, as we talked about, is eating those most 12 contaminated fruits and vegetables that can be an exposure for you. So you want to make sure that you're always cleaning those foods thoroughly. I usually use, I think Trader, or actually Natural Grocers, I know has some beautiful things that you can use to help clean all of your fruits and your vegetables, or use a vinegar water combination, which I think is just amazing to help clean all of those. So here is where it talks about your dirty dozen, you know, strawberry, spinach, kale, anything that you are eating the exterior of. I can't emphasize enough, you want to make sure that it is organic. And this EWG.org is an amazing website that you want to make sure to check out. It's got just packed with so much information, not just with nutrition, but also things that you put on your body. It will tell you if it's toxic and, you know, carcinogenic. Amazing website. Definitely want to make sure that you are checking that out. Some of these are the least contaminated foods, like avocados, pineapples, sweet peas that are frozen. Always try to buy organic as much as what you can. But these just are, it's just a good place to start. So we'll talk a little bit about sugar and ketogenic diets. So sugar, this basically is one of the major addictions in this country. It's bigger than amphetamine, alcohol, and heroin and nicotine, and it's legal. It's sugar, and it's in everything that we eat, everything that we drink. Cancer cells ingest this sugar, and at a rate that's almost 50 times more than what a healthy cell is. So let that sink in for a little bit. Now, researchers I found from Harvard Medical School, they reported that up to 80% of all human cancers are driven by the effects of glucose and insulin, which stimulates the growth and progression of cancer. It can stimulate cancer cell growth, inhibit cell death, and promote metastasis. It helps the cancer cells to resist radiation and chemotherapy. So can you see the importance of trying to refrain from eating sugar as much as what you can. It's even in this freshly squeezed juice, orange juice, that reduces the activity of immune cells by up to half for up to 5 hours after you drink it. Again, let that sit in for a little bit. When sugar is processed, like grains, preservatives, and additives, and all that junk food, it shifts, basically, the terrain shifts in a matter of days. Your epigenetic markers start to change, your blood sugar levels decline, your immune system is affected, and so is your hormone balance and your digestion. So you want to make sure to try. Sugar is found in so many things: ketchup, pasta, pizza, yogurt, whole grains, candies, cookies, and that's just to name a few. And sugar falls into two different categories. It falls into natural and added sugar. Natural sugars are foods such as fruit, milk, honey. Added sugars are in processed foods, and that's just sugar that's added to food. There's a saying that you can put a lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Well, whether it's organic, cane syrup, agave, barley malt, dried fruit, soda fruit, high fructose corn syrup, any of those, it will still cause your blood sugar levels to rise and the cancer will eat it. So again, also, it's in dairy. Who would have thought? So let's look at milk and sugars, milk sugars. 1 cup of low fat of cow's milk contains 13 grams of sugar in the form of lactose. All natural form, that's 65 to 90% of America can ingest that. And those high levels of sugars are circulating in your bloodstream, and that causes digestive and immune systems issues. And this can lead to anxiety, depression, migraines, weight gain, and other symptoms. And like we talked about, it increases sugar, increases your glucose and insulin. So please be careful. And insulin, which releases these pro-inflammatory cells. So these are some labs that you can look at with your doctor and you can ask so that you can maintain your sugar levels, your hemoglobin A1C, fasting glucose, and IGF, and fasting insulin. These basically will all detect amount of insulin that's circulating in the blood. So the fasting insulin, that's fasting in it's glucose in it's amount of insulin that's circulating in your blood when no glucose has been consumed for at least 8 hours. So these are important lab markers that you want to make sure to keep an eye on so that you're able to regulate those sugars. So we'll talk a little bit about carcinogens. Carcinogens basically is a substance that contributes to the process of cancer formation, and that includes mutation and promoting tumor growth. So it's found in so many things: new cars, carpets. It's found in dry cleaning, air fresheners, laundry detergents, skincare, body care, etc. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. This is a journey. And so there are you just start doing a few little things at a time on what you can control. So maybe you choose on what you're coming into contact with every day, and maybe that's some body care. Start small. Please don't feel overwhelmed. So how does carcinogen cause cancer? So it's a substance that enters the body in any different routes, and then acute or chronic effects can start to develop, and then you can have symptoms of toxicity that can cause an immediate reaction like a rash, difficulty breathing. You can have fatigue, skin disruptions, constipation, brain fog, autoimmune, fibromyalgia, a lot of those symptoms. And again, it's absorbed through the skin, you breathe it through the lungs, it's absorbed through your digestive tract, and different types of exposures. And again, if you would like any of this information, please email me at gethealthy@hope-wellnesscenters.com. I've got a PDF, and also you can go to this ewg.org/skin deep. This is an amazing resource to have so that you can go through and choose the best cosmetic and personal care products for you, because then people will start to say, well, what do I do? Start here. Again, please just start with one thing at a time. And no, it gets overwhelming, but if you just start controlling on what you're exposed to, what you're around the most, that will make things so much easier. Now, this is a link with, if you are interested in electromagnetic fields to know as EMFs, this is a great link for you to go to have products that can help reduce the amount of exposure for your cell phones, computers, wireless network. And if you are wanting to do any kind of a toxicology type of testing, these are good labs that you can go through. Again, you always want to make sure that you are working with your oncologist and a holistic practitioner, such as a naturopathic doctor, to help facilitate a lot of these labs for you. So this detoxification, it's basically, it is a very, it's a multiple step process where multiple organs are affected. Your skin, liver, GI tract, adrenals, gallbladder, lungs, all of these. And there are certain ways that you can help to remove this. And I use probably about 3 different ways. And again, it depends on the person. We can either do a food detoxification, we can do a shake supported detoxification, or we can use what I call these Unda homeopathic drops, which they all will help to support to remove a heavy metal detox, which is probably one of the most important things that you can do. A lot of times when people will detox, it's just removing it from the urine and from the blood, but they need to get it from that epithelial tissue, which is in your fat cells. It's in all of your organs. So that again needs to be facilitated by a holistic practitioner to help guide you, making sure that you're not going through toxic overload. You want to check your kidneys, your liver before you start this to make sure that all of these organs are able to start to filter out this toxic overload. We talked briefly about intermittent fasting. Again, make sure you speak with your healthcare practitioner before you start doing this, because sometimes if you are what they call metabolically inflexible, that means that your cells aren't able to allow your body to fast, and that's not a good thing. You need to be able to do that, as you should be able to do that. So sometimes we need a gradual approach. Sometimes I'm encouraging people to stop eating at 8 p.m. and then not have breakfast until 8 a.m. So then most of that fasting is done during rest. Each individual is different. With some of the cancer patients that I work with, I might take them through at least 1 day a week where daily it's at least 12 hours. 1 day a week, they might be doing a 16-hour fast and a 24-hour fast. And then maybe once a month, they might be doing a 3 to a 5 day water fast. So again, this is something that you really need to have monitored by a healthcare practitioner. Another great way to do a detox is the power of an infrared sauna. If you have access to that or have one at home, it is amazing. I would encourage you to start off with no more than 20 minutes. And then if you can do a cold shower rinse afterwards, that really helps to restore the body's natural health by regulating your immune system to increase your immune system and also to balance your central nervous system. So your fight or flight, it'll help to balance that. And just making sure that you're really trying to eat a very clean diet. So your microbiome is basically your gut that we're going to talk about in your terrain. And that is so huge because there is bacteria that lives in there. And this microbiome is this microorganism that protects us from germs and breaks down food to release energy and to help produce these vitamins. So it also produces good bacteria, and the bacteria that's involved in regulating tumor proliferation, including cancer cell apoptosis, modulates inflammation, and it trains our entire immune system, and it influences the metabolism of our food and also from the pharmaceuticals. Now there's a ton of different microbiome tests that you can do. And these are just a few examples, but again, I would really work with a holistic practitioner to make sure to help you guide to make sure you're getting the right tests to make sure to heal your terrain and your microbiome. So basically with your microbiome, this reboot plan is you need to target 3 main channels: the specific foods, prebiotics, and probiotics. And again, each person is different, and this is so critical in your overall health as well as for cancer prevention and the progression. So this helps to measure and balance and repopulate our microbiome. So it's so important to be able to do this. And with probiotics, they're derived from live organisms that offer healthy benefits to the host. So the probiotics are the living microbiomes, and the prebiotics are their food. So the prebiotics, they discourage the growth of things to prevent constipation and diarrhea. They help blood sugar levels stable and help in lowering ammonia in those that may have liver disease. So if you're supplementing with a pre and probiotic during chemotherapy, and of course antibiotics, I usually recommend about 100 billion colony forming units a day. And you may have some cramping and some diarrhea for the first 3 to 4 days, but this should usually dissipate. If not, lower the dosage and then gradually introduce it. But again, with all of this, make sure that you're working with a holistic practitioner because they will know and be able to find the right one for you. Your immune system is so important, and there are millions of cells that are hard at work circulating through your bloodstream and functioning like your own little homeland security system. And they're looking for and to destroy foreign, external, and internal invaders, kind of like bacteria and viruses. So our immune system basically needs to know what it's supposed to be in the body and what isn't. So cancer cells are similar to a person dressed in black hiding in the shadows. They're able to disguise and shield from the immune system. And so when your cancer grows, its ability to evade the immune system seems to increase even more. Cancer cells, they're clever little boogers. They're able to get into certain immune cells and switch teams and join them and help promote their growth. So when you're working with something called macrophages, these are embedded into tumors with the intention of activating a destructive immune response, but they end up helping the tumors grow. So you want to make sure that when you're working correctly with these macrophages, they'll eat the cancer cells, but the level of functioning of our macrophages are compromised when vitamins B6 and B12 consumption is low, and the person might have some food allergies. So again, we talked about the importance of, the leaky gut and having gluten sensitivities. There's also nutrient deficiencies. So there's one nutrient that can result in an altered immune response, and that can actually occur when the deficiency is even mild. And there's 5 main micronutrients, and those are vitamins A, C, D, and the minerals selenium and zinc. And these are along with complete proteins that support the immune system by a number of mechanisms. And these are so important. And again, if you want more information, I'm happy to send that all to you. So the vitamin A, that basically without enough of that leaky tight junctions that we talked about, those won't repair. And your vitamin C, 75% of cancer patients are deficient in vitamin C rich foods like broccoli, Brussels sprouts. Those are great, but you want to make sure you need to be tested for vitamin C to make sure that you, it's called G6PD, and you don't want to have, this affects the pathway that your body is able to metabolize this vitamin C. So again, I can't emphasize enough the importance of working with a healthcare holistic practitioner to make sure that you are doing what's best for you and your body. Stress, can't emphasize this one enough. This one is a very powerful carcinogen, and it increases inflammation, it spikes blood sugar, and it disables the immune system. Stress, this triggers a complex metabolic cascade. It includes the production of cortisol, which is what we know is a stress hormone, and it regulates our sleep patterns, gives us energy, experience exhaustion, poor concentration. It affects our heart rate, and it increase and decrease our blood pressure. So a chronically stressed out lifestyle can affect your cardiac rhythm, your circadian rhythm, sorry. And that's basically your sleep time. And it can be affected by excess screen time and too little outdoor time. That is so important. Vitamin D, the sunshine, that is so important. So think about it, since stress affects your body's function of what we just talked about. All these changes basically can affect that carcinogenic process. Something called oxidative stress damages this mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of your cell, and it imbalances free radicals, which basically damages all these little particles in your body and the antioxidants, and this can lead to cell and tissue damage. So take a look at what you're eating, non-organic food, particles that are coated with toxins. Sleep is truly the elixir of life. And it is so important to help improve the quality of sleep. You just have to simply sleep in a very dark room, slightly elevate your head, make sure to have black curtains to remove all of that light. Reduce the temperature in your room to usually about 68 degrees. Remove the Wi-Fi and all blue lights in your house. Shut them off if you can. These all can disrupt your body's ability to sleep. And adults, they need at least 8 hours of sleep, and kids need about 12. And when we sleep, our hormones are released, tissue growth and repair occurs, our neurological pathways are restored, detoxification occurs during our sleep. Our immune system is replenished. Our body is also affected by insulin. Just 2 nights of poor sleep can actually increase the IGF-1. And melatonin is something beautiful that I absolutely love, and it's a hormone that's made by the pineal gland, which is located in our brain. That pineal gland is not usually active during the day, so darkness defends it, it switches on and begins to produce melatonin. Melatonin are usually high at night for about 12 hours, and then the cortisol levels are supposed to be low. Notice I said supposed to be. Sometimes our cortisol levels elevate and then they become overpowering, and it affects us to get a good night rest. So these artificial lights that are outside of normal daytime hours, they actually can affect our melatonin production. And melatonin triggers tumor suppressor genes. It suppresses tumor angiogenesis and works as a powerful anti-carcinogenic antioxidant. That's a mouthful, right? And that crosses the blood-brain barrier. So again, work with your healthcare practitioner to find out which melatonin is going to be best for you. So make sure that you are maintaining and focusing on living a stress-free life, because these prolonged exposures can really lead to serious health conditions. And so these lifestyle changes really can help to minimize the stress in your body, whether you're implementing with yoga, meditation, massages, exercise, walk, hydrations. Those are beautiful. These are some labs that if you feel that stress has really overtaken your life, these are some labs that you can definitely take a look at and to have someone interpret to see if you are deficient in that. So stress management, as I talked about, breathing is great. When you breathe in through the nose and exhale out the mouth, that helps to really calm your sympathetic nervous system, which is the flight where you're running from the bear. Acupuncture, tapping, massage, these are all beautiful modalities that you can use. Now, telehealth, as I talked about earlier, telehealth is not regulated in all 50 states. As far as a naturopathic doctor, I can work with people all over the world. And that's the beautiful thing with telehealth, is that you and I can have this conversation just as what we are right now. And I do not diagnose or treat. I just help your body to restore its natural health by identifying whatever the root cause is. I help to support you, mind, body, mental, emotional, physical self. But with my cancer patients, I usually work with you with a minimum of 3 months, where we basically focus on building that terrain, and we work together once a week. So I'm giving you little assignments for you to do. Some will be fun, some probably won't be fun. But it is definitely a journey to help you to live a longer, healthier life. And I work with so many of my patients, oncologists. They have been very welcoming. And it's just amazing to see you have more people in your healing tribe so that you can live a healthier life. And this just talks about the licensure if you're interested in looking into that for different states, and that's constantly changing. So that's so exciting. Again, we talked a little bit about the coverage. Unfortunately, it doesn't go through insurance, but you can use some of your flex spending account to help cover some of those costs. These are just some of the resources. And again, thank you all so much for allowing me to talk to you today. If you would like to have more information, please email me at gethealthy@hope-wellnesscenters.com. I'd be happy to set up a free meet and greet. I will email you a YouTube video that discusses me and my practice. If you feel that that resonates with you, then we can spend our meet and greet that's just focusing on you and your healing journey and what you're wanting to accomplish. So again, thank you all so much for all of your time, and I wish you all well. If again, you would like a copy of this PowerPoint, please feel free to email me at gethealthy@hope-wellnesscenters.com.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ripperger.
Thank you so much for having me again. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And I look forward to visiting with all of you soon if you have any questions.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Remember to like the video and subscribe for more virtual classes from Natural Grocers. Are you looking for personalized nutrition advice to support your unique health goals? Please visit naturalgrocers.com/virtual-coaching to book a free one-on-one nutritional health coaching session with your nutritional health coach today.